So, guys, as you all know that, so we are planning to go to get started with the Karate API automation testing. Before starting with the Karate framework, I just want to know some insights from you, Kapil, Pujita, and Sisikala. Do you guys have any experience in working on any kind of a API testing, like a Postman or any other tools? Any experience on it? API testing?
Yes, sir. I have a little bit knowledge about the Postman.
Okay, you do have some knowledge on Postman.
No,
Yes.
Cool.
I
Sisikala?
don't think so.
yeah,
Okay.
it's from my end too.
Okay, Pujita and Sisikala, you don't have any knowledge on that particular API. Okay, fine, no problem. See, the point here is today we are gonna see a brief intro on the topics that we are gonna study as part of this training program. Okay, so what exactly this karate framework is, why are we gonna use this particular karate framework, how this can be used, and what are all the topics that we are gonna study as part of this karate framework we are gonna study. So the ultimate point here with respect to this karate framework is in order to automate any application endpoints. In other words, you can say that application programming interface, you will be using this particular API testing tool, which is a Karate framework. So immediately a question that comes in our mind, Surendra, that's fine. You are saying that we are using this tool for API testing, but what are we gonna do this particular API testing? When exactly we are gonna use this particular API testing? Right. So the point here is consider that a small example. So example here is maybe I'm trying to create an account in Gmail, gmail.com, creating an account. So I'm just creating an account in gmail.com. So what you will be doing, there is a form, you will fill the form, you will click on a save button, right, Pujita and one second. Pujita and
Yes,
Sisikala.
Yes.
Yes, you will be clicking on a save button. So what is happening whenever you clicked on a save button? Any idea what it's gonna happen whenever we clicked on a save button?
it will be saved in database.
Yes.
I'm not.
So, yes, perfect. So whatever the data that you have entered, this data from your system will be sent to your application server and it will be saving that information in the application server itself. Maybe a kind of any kind of a database will store that particular information, right? From your system, this information is being transferred to your application and the data is storing in that particular application itself. So here we as a end user or a tester, manual tester, I don't know how exactly it's being storing out in the backend. Right. So ideally, for these kinds of an actions, whenever you are trying to create an entry, whenever you are trying to get the entry from an application, whenever you are trying to update some entry in the existing application, these API calls will be triggered. Okay, in the UI, you don't see this particular one. In the backend, these API calls will be triggered. So, Surendra, if that's the case, how we will be testing this API testing means ahead itself, before a UI, developers will develop these APIs and we will be testing these APIs. Okay, so without having a user interface, first of all, they will develop these kind of application APIs and they will give us. So we will validate those APIs and we will check how the application is responding. Okay, how exactly the application is responding. Once after we validated and certified those APIs, then they will integrate these APIs to the user interface. So before doing this particular UI testing, right, from a functional level, on an API is also we are using this functional level of testing itself. But the point here is there are n number of tools using which we can perform this activity. There are n number of tools using which we can perform this particular activity. One among the most commonly used tool is a Postman. Okay, one among the most commonly used tool in order to validate the APIs is a Postman. Postman is the tool that's quite commonly used in the real world. Okay, so another small thing here is, okay, that's fine, Postman is a tool. And then the next point here is, the significance of a manual testing and what is the significance of an automation testing? Why are we going for an automation testing? Pujita and Sasikala?
So to reduce the manpower, or else to save the time, we can say.
Perfect. And maybe with a single click, all the scripts will be executed and the report will be generated. All those activities you will be doing with respect to the automation testing, right? The similar way, for these APIs also, you can do automation testing. And one among such tools that we can perform this automation testing is a Karate framework. Okay, so this is a Karate framework is an automation testing tool which is used to automate the various APIs. Fine. Surendra, if it is one among the existing tools, why majority of the organizations are using this particular Karate framework means the major reason here is, if you can have a look into this particular screenshot, the official documentation, this Karate framework, you don't need any kind of a coding. You don't need to write any Java programs. You don't need to write any other complicated programming languages. See here, there are certain keywords in Karate: URL, request, method, status, match, path. These are the various keywords that we have in a Karate. And if you look into this line, given URL and that API endpoint URL, when method post put some methods are there, you will be giving those methods. Then status, verifying that particular code. So the beauty with respect to this Karate framework here is, a person who don't have any idea on automation testing, who don't have any idea on a programming language, they can easily write down this particular Karate framework code. Anyone can easily write down this Karate framework code in a plain English language itself. That's the reason most of the organizations nowadays, they are preferring this particular Karate framework. And another thing is, initially using this Karate, we were automating only APIs. Now, okay, we were automating only APIs. Now, using this particular Karate framework, we are doing a browser-based testing. We are doing a performance testing. All these testings this Karate framework is supporting. See, if you guys have any idea on a Selenium, in order to work on Selenium, you should be pro in Java basically. Until and unless you learn Java, you can't handle anything in your Selenium. But here, without having any programming background, if you know certain informations here, easily you can automate any applications. That's the reason majority of the organizations these days, they are using this Karate framework. And another reason is, maybe in the organization they have a Cucumber BDD based Selenium framework or mobile automation framework. They want to use a Karate framework for their automation solution so that they can leverage the Cucumber BDD for every project. So that's another reason where organizations are preferring this particular Karate framework. No matter, the ultimate point here is, a person who don't have any idea on a programming also, they can easily learn this Karate framework and they can easily implement this Karate framework in their projects. So far, am I clear? Kapil, Pujita, Sasikala, Prashant, am I clear for you all so far? Any doubts for
Yes.
me?
Yes. Is it similar to Cyprus?
Is it similar to?
Cyprus?
Uh, I'm not 100% sure about this Cypress as I didn't work on that particular one. If you have any idea on a Cucumber BDD, do you have any idea on a Cucumber BDD?
No.
Yes. Okay. So the point here is in Cucumber BDD, you will be writing down your test cases in a plain English language so that a person who don't have any idea on automation testing, just by looking into those lines, they can easily understand. The similar way here also, as part of this Cucumber BDD syntaxes, we are writing down our test cases in an English language. That's the syntax that it is showing as part of that particular documentation, using which anyone can easily automate their applications. Okay, anyone can easily automate their applications. Got it, Pujita Sisikala?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. And another thing here is, okay, that's fine. So Surendra, if that's the case, what are all the topics we are gonna study as part of this Karate Framework training program? Right. So what are all the various topics we are gonna study within this training program for the next 10, 15 hours? What you are gonna explain for us? So the point here is, okay, let me share my screen once for you. Yeah, so the various topics that we are going to start here are, we will be looking at, first of all, a brief introduction about API testing, followed by we will see a practical implementation on a Postman tool first. And once we are done with this particular Postman, we will configure this Karate framework in our machine. And right from the basic, if you see my screen, basically right from the basic till the advanced concept, whatever we have in reading the data from an Excel file, in CI/CD integration of this Karate, the various methods you have, and how to upload a file, all those concepts, each and every concept, we will study in our sessions from an API perspective. Once we are done with this API, even we will see using this particular Karate framework how to automate any websites. Basically, that's gonna be a functional, a kind of a Selenium testing. Whatever the Selenium things that you are dealing, the similar way you will be dealing with this Karate framework. How you are gonna handle alerts, how you are gonna handle multiple windows, how you will be uploading a file. All those scenarios we are gonna study here. So, which means as part of this particular training program, we are gonna study both Karate API automation and as well as a Karate UI automation. We are gonna study within our sessions itself. The total duration is gonna be around 15 to 20 hours. This is gonna be the duration for this training program. Okay, clear? Any
Yes,
doubts?
sir.
Pujita, Kapil, Prashant,
Yeah.
Sashikala?
No.
Clear enough. Please, sir.
Okay. And every day we will record this session for you. And another thing here is, probably few of you, maybe working for an organizations, and a few of you guys are searching for a jobs. I'm just giving you the context. No matter whether you are in India, USA, or Canada, just be with me for this Karate framework sessions for next 10 to 15 days. Add this Karate framework to your resume and see. So as of now, this tool is having a good demand, and we don't have a much profiles on this particular tool. There are a very, very, very limited resources who are working on this tool. So this, if you add to your resume, it's gonna be a value add for your profile. Even if your organization is working on any kind of an automation testing tools for API, explore this application, explore this tool, and try to suggest this as part of your organization implementation as well. So this tool, whatever the topics I have implemented in my project, up to that particular concept, everything I will cover on a different sets of examples, and I will cover within the sessions itself. Okay, everything I will be explaining within the sessions. The only thing that you need to do is attend the session, implement the concept from your end, practice it. If you encounter any issues, do let me know in the next session. I will resolve your issues, and then we'll go to the next topic so that you will gain confidence for this particular tool. Cool. Any questions for me? Kapil, Pujita, Prashant, Sisikala?
What would be the timings?
So most probably, the timings would be at 8:30 p.m. IST, just a half hour before, as two people in the group has requested for this particular timings. Most probably the timings are going to be the same 8:30 p.m. IST itself. That I will be creating a pool over the group, and I will try to start the sessions from Tuesday. Not from tomorrow, I will start the sessions from Tuesday. The reason is a few didn't join the demo, so I need to follow up with them tomorrow, and I will be starting the sessions from Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. IST onwards. Okay. And even for the session timings also, I do have a couple of slots where I can manage the timings. So I will create a pool tonight itself with respect to those timings. Add your inputs. Based on that, we can plan the sessions from Tuesday accordingly. Okay, guys?
Okay, sir.